Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, back for my post-market wrap-up. Was this a lovely day? Well, I will leave that up to you. There's so much going on here, I don't even know how to put this into a perspective. Let's give it a shot here. Alright, Thursday, August 30th, 2018. Stocks finished in the red today. Why did this happen? Well, first of all, stocks have kind of vaulted higher as of late, and we may be due to give back a little bit. There's also the issue with, and I covered this earlier today, there is an emerging market issue, and it's being reflected in their currencies right now. If you did not see the video that I did this morning, please watch it. They're highlighting just a few countries here. We're talking about Turkey, Argentina, South Africa, and obviously there's more to this, but this is what you're being allowed to see. Okay, we got that part. We always understand it's the look here, don't look here thing. But that's just the way it is. So today, gold and silver did finish in the negative. I covered this earlier today too. However, crude oil put on a really nice gain today. Are you surprised about that? Look, there's no correlation anymore between dollar-denominated assets, for example, gold and silver, and crude oil anymore. Crude oil, the price of crude oil, I have covered this to the point of nauseum, will be kept high. No matter what they got to do, if they have to create stories, if they have to fake inventory reports, whatever it is, because there is an unbelievable amount of investments by the banks in energy, obviously the energy sector as a whole. So crude oil will be kept high. Doesn't matter what the dollar does. The reports are all fake, I can promise you that. But gold and silver will suffer no matter what the dollar does these days. Dollar stronger, gold and silver will go down. Dollar weaker, gold and silver will go down. Cryptocurrencies took a hit today. Now let's put a perspective on some of this. We understand. I mean, it's really kind of almost no secret. There's an issue here with emerging markets. I covered earlier how I despise putting this into a market perspecve. We got to look at what's happening to people here. And it's not good. I mean, their currencies are evaporating. How would that affect you if you were living in one of these countries right now and watch your currency evaporate right before your eyes? You can't buy things that you could have bought yesterday for the same amount of money. You're paying, in fact, an unbelievable amount more every hour. This is the truth. This is going to unfold on a global scale. There is no way out at one particular time. Maybe we're seeing the opening salvos. Here's the truth. So we have emerging market currency issues here. We have the knee-jerk reaction into the dollar because it's some kind of a safe haven, at least for now, because it remains the world reserve currency. In a real market that weren't being strung along, you would expect to see cash move into, obviously, gold, silver, and, in my view, cryptocurrencies. It's not a real market. Once Wall Street got their hands on Bitcoin through the futures exchange, and I covered this to the T, I nailed it to the wall, besides the fact that I've been ridiculed, or was ridiculed at the time, by every cryptocurrency website out there. Well, some of them admitted that I got it right. And a lot of other ones just shut their mouth because they can't admit. They won't admit they were wrong. Well, I was right. And this is just the way it is. So understand, what we're seeing here is a lot of it is still going to be blacked out. You're not going to be able to see what's going on here. It's the distraction, for which I want to talk further about too. But unfortunately, that's the sin more. I mean, it's a managed market, and whenever anything is managed, we can look over at China, use them as an example. People walk around, and their people walk around not knowing really what's going on at all. As a matter of fact, when you hear like an analyst or some kind of person out there speculating about what's really going on there in the Chinese markets, or any managed market for that matter, you could just sit there and laugh because there's no way to tell. It's all being covered up by the government, like here.
just like here in the United States. It's an unbelievable set of dynamics that are in place here, people. So what we can expect is a couple of things with regard to this emerging market currency issue. More cash moving into the dollar, pushing it higher. This is short term. And we are going to see cash going into the debt market. Again, there's that compensatory mechanism we have to keep in mind. And despite the fact that the dollar is getting stronger, with cash moving into the debt market as a perceived safety net, that's going to maintain the sweet spot for stocks. So we can expect stocks here to rise as well. You got it, this little pullback today, and I told people, I tweeted it, I posted it on Facebook, I said, lions, my beautiful lions out here, don't short this market. Do not short this market. It will be propped up. It's not real. It's managed. There's no resemblance anymore of a real market. Now let's talk about a couple of other things here that are disturbing in my view. So we found out today, all right, first of all, let's back up. This is as good as it gets. You know that. I covered the real issues on the ground. 4 in 10 Americans cannot make ends meet or are struggling to do so. 21% of our population, it's actually over that, is receiving government assistance. But this is as good as it gets, according to our president. Meanwhile, President Trump made an announcement today that federal civilian employees will not be getting a pay raise. Look, it's no secret that everything is going up around us. Now, I don't want to hear from an imbecile's mouth that, oh, well, they're overpaid anyway. Because if you were one of these people, you would not feel that way, okay? And if you do say that, I hope you lose your job. How's that? I really do. Because if you don't embrace the fact that we are all responsible for each other, please unsubscribe from my channel right now. I don't want you here. And you're a useful idiot on top of that. I love this term. People are getting so offended by it, and I'm loving it. I'm using it as a hashtag, useful idiots. Start using the hashtag, useful idiots, and let's piss people off. You know exactly who I'm talking about, too. So anyway, President Trump, federal civilian employees, you're not getting a raise, and do you know why? Because the president says we got to tighten our belt here. We got to tighten our fiscal belt to, maintain where we are. But again, this is as good as it gets. I thought this is like a booming economy here. But again, Fed can't normalize rates. We know that. President Trump doesn't want to give federal civilian employees a raise. Meanwhile, let's talk about who has gotten the biggest pay raise on God's earth. All right. President Trump has made sure enormous amounts of cash have flowed into the stock market. Where does that cash go? I covered this before. The CEOs of these corporations, they get paid in stock and stock options. Can you imagine the raise that corporate America has gotten under this president? I mean, we're talking literally, and I can't even say off the Richter scale because this is like a billion Richter scale. They're rectum scales. How about that for a Freudian slip? It's a rectum scale now. I love that. Off the freaking rectum scale. Really, that's President Trump's new measurement when it comes to how he's enriching corporate America and corporations, but he cannot give federal employees, civilian employees a raise. Just can't do it. Meanwhile, this guy, I know I'm going off and I'm going to get a lot of hate mail, but I don't give a shit. Ooh, sorry about that. He's outspending Obama with regard to our national debt. I covered this yesterday. He's been president, 1.5 years? $2 trillion plus to our national debt so far, and he wants the Space Force thing to go through. Now, I don't want to hear from all you other imbeciles out here that this has been around forever. Look, I was a lieutenant in the United States Navy Medical Service Corps. I never saw one person wearing a freaking Space Force badge on their shoulder. Okay? Until I start seeing that, I don't want to hear about how Space Force really exists. Really? Unless you're one of them? Maybe if you happen to be a member of Space Force, I want to know about it. And this missing mystical $21 trillion, first of all, I have yet to see any real proof of this. That's number one. Number two, So apparently, I want to cover this because I've been getting a lot of questions about this mystical missing 21 trillion that the Pentagon lost. Do you really believe? Do you really believe? I want to try to get a perspective on this, that this was the Pentagon here. Why would they blame the Pentagon? Because maybe it would get so caught up in red tape and people have no idea what's going on at the Pentagon or behind those closed doors that it would never be found. Let me tell you something if you don't already know. The 21 trillion, if it's really missing, this was the Federal Reserve bailing out other world central banks. Period. What a great way to hide the 21 trillion and not show it on the Federal Reserve's balance sheet or anything else. It just cause a distraction. No. The Pentagon did it. Come on, people. It's look here, don't look here, period, the end, and I will not discuss this anymore. It's just too stupid. It's the truth. How about something else that's too stupid? This is awesome. This is freaking awesome. Are you ready? Sit down for this. Warren Buffett. Of course they call him out today, and he's over there on CNBC today as stocks were falling. You know, they always do the same thing. They bring out the props. You know, he's the number one prop. How many times have you heard me say that? And they parade him out. Well, they did that today. Not only did they parade Mr. Warren Buffett out, Warren Buffett, keep in mind, this guy owns 5% of Apple. 5% of Apple. He came out on CNBC explaining how the iPhone at $1,000 is massively undervalued because of all the beautiful things it can do. Do you know that Mr. Buffett doesn't even use an iPhone because of all the wonderful things it can do? I think maybe Mr. Buffett might want to consider using the iPhone for a suppository. I think that would really be a good thing for him. Seriously, how about you? Warren Buffett, how about we call it the Warren Buffett suppository? Okay, I'm not saying the iPhone is not awesome. I got one. Love the thing. But seriously, this is just outrageously insane. Don't you think? All of this? Look, I think I covered enough in this video. And I'm going to ask you again, if you think this makes sense to you, share this video, give me a thumbs up, get it out here. Honestly, and start using the useful idiots hashtag useful idiots. It's unbelievable. It really is. The distractions that are going on, the mythical 21 trillion, which may or may not even have gone anywhere, how it's being hidden in the... Oh, no. It's the Pentagon did it. The Pentagon did it. No. Absolutely. If you believe that, there's something seriously wrong with you. I mean, come on. Hidden in plain sight. It's the central banks. You know it is. This is all fake, all being propped up. Nothing is real right now. And our president continues to make these distortions worse. And it has nothing to do with bringing down the dollar. We would have to say, if that's the truth, if President Trump is the man who's finally going to bring down the Federal Reserve, well, it would have to be all of our world leaders, because they're all doing the same thing. And they're all supporting their own central banks. With that said, why don't you contemplate that? And I will. See, all of you lovelies, tomorrow, I told you I had no idea what was going to come out of my mouth. Well, there you go.